I feel tears welling up and down deep inside, like my heart's got a big break. But it's never more than painful. I don't give a shake. My big feeling taking it hard since you broke me off with a car. You can tell how as I go, they're right down the bar. Well, the race is over, right up the backstretch. Heartaches are going to the inside. My tears are holding back. And nothing more. My heart's out of the running to the stretch for another sake. The race is over, and it looks like heartaches. The winner loses all.
Good afternoon, Gary.
Hey, good afternoon, Rich.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
How's
Pretty
things
good.
How's things in Ryderville? I hear the weather's been pretty shaky there.
Yeah, it's starting to thin out. It's most of the snow's gone, and but it's really great today because there's nothing better for a Monday than a win on Sunday.
Yeah. Mondays are always a little bit brighter, a little bit happier when we come away with a Niner victory on Sunday. I remember when I was younger, and you know, the Montana days. If they lost a game, it ruined my whole week. Fortunately, I've matured a little bit more than that, but not much.
Well, all it takes is a few bad years, and it kind of helps.
It does. It does. It brings you
Being an
back to
ex-Charger
reality.
fan, I used to bleed blue and gold, and my wife wouldn't let the kids talk to me for a couple days after a Charger loss. And pretty soon you get kind of immune to it if you lose all the time.
Yeah, you do. I mean, like I told you when I bought my season tickets, I sat through one like 6-10 season, so season. Then I sat through two and 14 seasons, including OJ's last season, which was, a disastrous trade, worst in the 49er history. 7 players for that guy to Minnesota. That was a bad trade. That was the end of the Joe Thomas era.
Well, you shouldn't have made the trade.
We should have what?
You shouldn't have let him make the trade. You should have stopped.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, there wasn't much I could do but wear my ex-Joe Thomas T-shirt. Joe Thomas was the GM back in those days, and everybody wore this T-shirt that said "Axe Joe Thomas," and it had a big axe in the middle of it. He was not well liked in San Francisco. And then came Walsh, and, well, of course, the rest is history. So, Gary, we missed you this weekend at Heathen in downtown.
I missed
Vancouver.
you guys.
And I can tell you that a whole lot of people asked about you. They missed that fogey table. So know that people were caring and missing you, and we'll look forward to seeing you the next game.
Well, I'll be there next week.
Oh boy!
And regardless, because we're almost out of coffee.
Oh,
and that's where I get my coffee is down there. So.
Okay, well, the way you drink coffee, that's a pretty dangerous.
Yeah, I do drink a bit of coffee.
Yeah, you do. You can pound that stuff down. I gotta quit about noon, or I don't sleep that night.
Well, I've got the best boutique coffee roaster in the business.
I saw that when I was at your house. That thing,
and I call him the coffee bean whisperer.
Yeah,
we can get more flavor out of coffee beans, and I really enjoy drinking his coffee. Anyway, what did you think of the game?
Well, I thought once again, and this has been a couple times I've thought this, it was really a game of two halves,
Well, isn't that why they have a break at halftime break? It's always a game of two halves.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's 4 different teams.
Sometimes you can, you carry over a little momentum, and you carry over things that you do, and you change up things. And clearly we did make changes for the second half, no doubt about that. But, to me, the first half, there was very little action here. Trey's poor pass in the second quarter that, 4 plays later, Houston scores a touchdown and takes the lead. That's just kind of how the first half went to me. It was just kind of a dull first half. One mistake, they get a score, they're up by 7. No, we got a field goal right at the end of the second quarter. So it was 7-3, right?
That was that IU toe catch.
Yeah.
That was misdirected.
Yep.
So that was a big plus. 3
that was
seconds
a big
left.
play. Yeah, that was
and how he kept his toes in bounds and caught that ball is something else.
It really is. It really is. That's one of my, as I make my notes, that catch was one of my plays of the game for sure. It was big. We needed to go in with a little bit of momentum, and Robbie came through too, right? 3 field goals, so including that one. That was an important field goal, I think, to get us
that was
going.
A very important field goal to get something on the board.
Yep. And then we get the ball second half, right? So we end the first half with points, and then we start the second half.
Well, we won the coin toss and deferred.
Yeah, right.
So we had a chance for back-to-back scores without them ever getting the ball.
Yep, we did. And the second half was pretty nice. There was a couple plays that really stand out. Of course, that 45-yard touchdown reception from Trey Lance to Debo. That was a great throw, and Debo did a great job of scampering down the sidelines and stiff arming guys out of his way. He's big, man. I guess I didn't realize how big he was until this weekend showed him up close, and man, that guy's a stud. So I loved that play. That was just nice, and it really shows the kind of arm that Trey has.
The second half was much more relaxing.
Yeah. That's for sure. What did you see, Gary? What jumped out at you in this game?
Well, I thought the defense played an outstanding game.
Yeah. They held them to 7 points, right? So
yeah,
because they missed a field goal by inches.
Well, if Robbie would have missed a field goal by inches, we'd have been really PO'd, wouldn't we?
Yeah, we would have. We would have been really PO'd, but he didn't.
So
and there's dead. And
well, I heard from a guy that was at the game. He said the wind whirled up right at the time that he was kicking.
I listened to Matt Miyako talk about that play, and that's exactly what he said. Obviously, he's at the game, right? He's at the press box, but he said that the wind was swirling around the stadium, which they do in the Bay Area, right?
Shades of the stick, huh?
Yeah, real shades of the stick. Nothing swirls more than the stick. But even like the Oakland Coliseum, it swirls around there. Baseball players used to complain about it like crazy. So, it's just the Bay Area weather. That's just the way it is, and you got to learn to play with that stuff. And the Niners learn to play with it because that's their home, right? But things like that, little stuff like that on the road for these teams that are coming in. We've only played these guys 5 times.
Yeah.
And I think we cut them off guard, and they're not a very good team. As we talked about last week, this should be a home run. This should be a slam dunk. And if you recall, Las Vegas had the Niners in 15.
15.
And it was the Niners in 15. So, a pretty good call by Vegas. They had it nailed, and I'm not sure how it pays out when there's a tie. So I don't know. I guess they'd probably say Houston beat the odds, right? But I don't know. So anyway, it was one of those games where we did well. I mean, if you look at what the guys did, Mitchell 21 carries for 119 yards, and Ayuk had a huge game, 4 catches for 94. So, it's great to see these guys coming around.
He also set a 49ers rookie running back record too.
Oh, Mitchell did, right?
Yes, he did.
That's right. And that was from 1971. Who was that? I can't remember his name. But yeah, that was pretty exciting. And he had a big
Sherfield made a good catch.
He did make a good catch. That catch by Kittle, that one-handed catch.
Oh yeah.
Holy smokes.
I'm looking for the right song and make that a Fogies Shorts.
That would be a good Fogies Shorts, and man, what a catch. Holy smokes, that was really something.
But that's kind of what we expect of Kittle, though, isn't it?
It is, and it's kind of not fair.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you can't expect anybody to make plays like that all the time, but he makes plays like that all the time, right? I mean, that's the second one he's done like that this season, where it was a long pass and he stretched as far as he could stretch and pulled it in with one hand,
Well, and being fouled in the process.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And they called it too, right?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, and the Niners declined.
We refused it because the play was okay.
And Debo had a good game.
Yes,
but it was a rather conservative game for him, and I think that's good. They gave him 7 carries, which isn't very much, especially with Mitchell going, and he only had 19 yards. He had 3 catches for 63 yards. So that's a nice average, and he had a touchdown. So, we always want to see Debo get a touchdown. But 45 of those 63 yards.
You mean Samuel Sr.?
Debo Samuel Sr.?
Yeah. He won Senior on the
back
of his jersey.
Yeah. He dedicated this win to his brand new baby boy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
The junior. Right. And that's why he wants Senior on his jersey.
Oh, are they going to change it?
Wow, would you?
Yeah. Sure.
I'll put anything on his jersey he wants.
Yeah, no kidding. Man. All in all, what you feeling about this game and how this sets us up for week 18?
Well, I thought it was the second half went the way I thought the whole game would go. And, but I did pick offensive and defensive players of the game. Have you?
Let's hear them. Kind of.
Go ahead. You go first.
Well, I again thought Thomas had a nice game. He got burned once, but they're picking on the guy, and he's coming through. And the thing that I like about him is he just doesn't keep his back to the ball and hand fight. We lead the league in pass interference. We had 2 in a row on their last drive. Fortunately, it didn't.
Well, they pulled what's his name out, Foghorn time, and put Dante in, and he back to back penalties on that.
Yeah, it was really ugly.
Thomas almost had an interception.
He did. Oh, so close. He was on the ground holding his head, it was right there. But it was a great play. I mean, he broke up that pass, and that was a reception.
Well,
for
he
sure.
is a defensive back, not a wide receiver.
That's right. That's right. And he did his job. I mean, that ball was going to hit that receiver, and that guy was going to be gone.
Yeah.
So that was a big,
So
one-on-one.
he's your defensive player of the game?
Yeah. Yeah, he's my defensive player. I really like him.
He was in the running for me too.
But who'd you come up with?
Well, you got to give me your offensive.
Okay, my
player
offensive player of the game. I'm going to give it to Trey. You know, he was thrown into all week long. They weren't making a decision on who was going to start, though. I'm sure behind closed doors they were talking about it.
Well, he was getting all the reps.
He did get all the reps, and the first string defense was really pumped up about him going into the game. So, there was some good play. Elijah Mitchell had a really good game. The offensive line held up really well. Trey only got sacked once. And for a rookie making a second start, that's pretty darn good. That's the offensive line holding up. So those are my two picks. What do you got?
Well, my offensive player of the game is Elijah Mitchell. He was just the workhorse the whole game.
He was.
And my offensive lineman of the game. Any guesses?
Well, I don't think it's on the right side of the line. Those guys got burned. So who
Tomlinson.
Who you got?
Tomlinson.
Yeah.
You notice you never heard his name, and I watched him close because I was struggling with that.
Yeah.
And that one that's getting blamed on, I haven't heard anybody blame it on Brunskill, but that sack of Trey where he came in on the inside of Brunskill. Well, Brunskill was blocking that guy, and then a guy shot the gap on the other side. So he took the guy on the other side, and Mac didn't leave where he was at. He was still looking around. So I actually blame that one on Mac.
Yeah.
But anyway,
okay.
Regardless of that, Tomlinson was the offensive lineman of the game, hands down. I watched him close. No penalties. Didn't let anybody get to the quarterback. And, I'm kind of not very partial to Tomlinson.
Yeah.
But I want to sign him for next year.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Defense. Fred Warner.
Yeah.
Player of the game.
Yeah. He had a really
he was all over the field hitting and busting guys up and just incredible.
And he was the quarterback for the defense too, right?
Yes.
And he did a really nice job of going up, getting in the front seven, reading what the offense was lined up to do, and then changing the plays, calling out to the defensive backs. I think that was big. That's something that was missing when he wasn't out there.
I think his safety experience really helps with that too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But he's linebacker size. There's no question about that. But he's got that speed, and he was showing that speed on the sidelines. I don't recall. There was a 3rd and 2, and Houston went to run the ball, and Fred Warner came all the way across the other side of the field and nailed the guy. So they had to punt. I don't remember who it was that was running the ball, but that play by Warner. Do you remember the play I'm talking about?
Yeah, I remember the play, but I don't. If you watch the game, every time there's a pile and you watch the guys get up, Fred's number shows up of the guys getting up off of the tackle.
Yeah.
Almost every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was Fred's one of those go-to guys, that you can almost give it to him every week. So I was looking to try not to, but I couldn't. I just couldn't do that.
Yeah.
And then my defensive lineman of the game was Ebucom again. He was very active, very busy, and I'm kind of worried about Bosa. He looked tired.
He did. This is 2 games in a row with no sacks.
He just looked tired, and of course he's fighting 2 to 3 guys every play.
Right.
Which don't play him quite as much. We've got enough guys in there. Give him some rest.
Yeah. Pull him off. Get some. We got some big bodies that we can throw out there. A lot of them. I mean, we're actually pretty rich for defensive line. And there were the one thing that happened though with them paying so much attention to Bosa, and I actually saw at one time 3 guys pick him up. He bounced off one, then somebody else gets him, and then when he bounced off that, somebody else gets him, right? But that opened up the floodgates for Armstead.
Yeah.
And we had 4 sacks yesterday, and Armstead had 2 of them.
He was part of 2 of them. He had 1.
Yeah.
Ebubom was actually in 1. He was underneath. Armstead on that tackle.
Okay.
So he worked really well. He was really good coming down the line on the runs.
Yeah, and we had to shut their running game down, right? Once we shut their running game down, they couldn't beat us with a pass, which is kind of crazy
to see I can't remember now. Give me the foghorn. Whether it was during the game or something else that I saw, where they showed Trey Lance playing safety.
Really?
Yeah. It was, I can't remember now whether it was high school or college, but Trey Lance was a defender.
Well, he's a big guy.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how big he was. He was before the game. He was on the sidelines and they showed it. And he went over and he gave John Lynch a hug. And he's 4 inches taller than Lynch. And I mean, Lynch was a brutal safety, right?
Yeah.
But he's around 6 feet, 6'1". I think Trey Lance is 6'4", 6'5".
Yep.
I gotta take a look, but man, he's big. He's a winner. He's won a national championship before at Division II. And Division II.
He's definitely the future.
Oh yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to talk about that Ram game.
That's kind of, I think we are.
Are we? Are we talking
about I think we are. I think it's time to wrap this one up and put it in the history books.
I think
got
so.
What we needed, we got what we wanted.
That's it. Nothing fancy. Just grinded out football. That's fine. We need to be able to win grinded out football games. So I'm happy.
Me too. And remember that without a history, you have no future.
That's right. Thanks for taking us out of here, Gary.
Okay. Later, Rich.